This is a really fun video for me because I get to do a little show and tell, and then we're also going to plant something. But these are 3 of the pots that are in the Signature Touches Garden collection on QVC that I have, and I really love these pots. Weight-wise, I would say they're a cross in between a fiberglass, faux concrete or faux terracotta pot, and also a real concrete or real terracotta pot in terms of weight. But I love the way they look. They're made out of kind of a resin material, and I love the detailing on them. So if you look up close, it has a really nice, almost like dental work or an embossed feeling along the rib. And then it's got these beautiful scallops. It's got a kind of a Romanesque quality to me. And then most importantly, I love the feature that it's on a stand, because you guys know how I love things that are elevated. Now this one is about 16 inches tall by about 16 inches wide in terms of planting area. It's got a cork on the inside so you can use it with or without drainage. I'm already thinking that in the wintertime, this would be absolutely spectacular with a small Christmas tree in it. I just think it would be really, really wonderful, a small living Christmas tree. Okay, this is the mini version of that. This is 13 inches tall by 13 inches wide. It replicates the big pot. I think of this as Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. This would be the Mama Bear pot. It's also elevated on this stand. It too has a drainage plug in it that you can keep inside, or you can remove it. Again, I think this would be so wonderful at Christmas time with an assortment of conifers in here. Now, all of these are kind of slick looking now. They have a little bit of a wash on them to make them look pre-aged. But of course, you guys know that I like everything in my garden to look even more mucked up and even a little bit more aged. So I will probably do another finish of dirt or something on the exterior and moss to make them look even more English and even more like an old world estate garden. Okay, and then this is the third one. This one has a planting area of about 10.5 inches in diameter. It's about 18 inches tall, and I think it's very statuesque. I love the fact that it's a little bit higher. And all of these, this trio of planters makes garden design, container garden design, just so easy. If you're a little bit intimidated on, you know, what pots should go together in terms of size and in terms of finish and in terms of kind of the language that they speak. So all of these would look fabulous together, and they would also look great if you wanted to mix some real terracotta with them. They're weatherproof, they're waterproof, they really, if not completely indestructible, they're pretty close to it. Now, Stuart, if you would show, what I love is that surface, the texture on the surface. You can see that it's got like a stone-like quality. It's got, just little cracks and crevices that things like my beloved moss and dirt can grow in. So I love that about these. And again, I just love the fact that they are very tough in the garden year round. Okay, so now this is the faux terracotta version, and I promise you guys there is a project coming up here. I just wanted to kind of give you a little tease first. So these are the faux terracotta ones, but I want to show you the faux stone ones as well. Now this is the faux stone version of those same pots. This would be the Papa Bear. The Mama Bear is already planted and on my front porch, and this would be the Baby Bear. Now this is what I mean by you can age it even more if you like, because this too, Stuart, if you can show, has that great rough texture to it, stone-like texture to it. And this is the 16-inch one, 16-inch wide, 16-inch tall. I've got some blueberries that I'm going to plant in here, and I'm going to kind of limb them up and do my thing that I like to do with these. I've also got a blueberry in this other pot, And this one, I have added patina to it. So I like it to look even more aged than it already is. So all I did, I've often said, never let good garden muck go to waste. And in this case, I was planting something and I just took my wet, muddy garden gloves and just rubbed them over the facade and into all the cracks and the crevices of the detailing work, this kind of seal look that's on the front. And I just love the way it ages it even more. I can't wait to rub some wet moss on this so some of that green starts growing too. These are really beautiful. Again, they're mid-weight between the real thing and like a fiberglass. This also would just be spectacular at really at any time of year, both indoors or out. I can see this one just on my library table with a huge fern growing out of it. Okay, but now let's get to the actual project at hand using some of these pots. So let's get to it. Well, let's actually do some planting now. This is going to be filled with this aromatic Chef's Choice rosemary from Southern Living Plants. And in the bottom, you know that I have talked about just using garden debris. So I've got some of the grass that was in one of my Easter containers that I'm just taking the root mass and the grass itself and I'm putting it at the bottom. It will decompose over time and it's kind of like green, I don't know, green manure. Now, truth be told, you guys, yesterday I did something actually it wasn't stupid. It's just the nature of life, and I twisted wrong and I hurt my back. Just a muscular strain, nothing more serious than that, but I am moving a little bit awkwardly today and needed help with this project. So Stuart, his mom, and his sweet daughter, Julia, it was really a surprise to see her today. They came to my rescue and they helped me lift some of these pots and things up onto my work table. Okay, so I've got my green manure and my garden debris down at the bottom. I have my newly decongested root balls here, and that's going to be just at the level that I want. And as I said, doing that to your plants will really, and obviously you guys, you don't want to do this to a type of plant that doesn't like having its roots disturbed. I guess I should have said that as a caveat before my demonstration. But rosemary, they're tough. And I'm going to do this as kind of a little science experiment, you guys. On this one, this third pot, I am not messing with the root ball. But you can see how beautifully I can get 3, I don't know if these are 2-gallon plants, exactly what size they are, pots into this larger Papa Bear pot that is 16 inches across. And when this gets big and voluminous, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. I may or may not keep it tightly clipped. At first, I'm just going to let it really do its thing and grow and cascade over the side. I wish you guys could smell this. I know, see, and Stuart said, oh my gosh, it smells heavenly. Now, Mediterranean plants like really good drainage, and they don't need a lot of soil that has tons of fertilizer or heavy nutrition in it. But they do want good garden grit, and it's one of the things, I will bring this in over the winter, particularly after this last winter we had, but it's one of the reasons that rosemary may die out in your garden if you plant it in the ground. It's because it doesn't have good enough drainage that's particularly crucial in the winter. So what I did was I just took some really good builder sand, not play sand, but really good builder sand, and I mixed it in with a good quality potting mix. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just basically fill in the gaps. And there's not a lot of volume of soil that I need to put in there. So I'm just going to fill that in all the way around. And this does smell heavenly. I think I sense some lemon rosemary chicken in my future. Stuart, you want to come for dinner? Maybe your mom and Julia can stay. Okay, let me torque this around. And yes, I know I should have my lazy Susan. I know that drives you guys crazy. But I'm just going to continue to add more in here. I'm not adding, you may note, a lot of times at this point I add Osmocote. And by the way, I've started putting links in the description below to some of the products that I name over and over again, and I'll just leave them there permanently. So if you guys want to know some of the products that I use that I really like, just go to the link in the description. Okay, I'm gonna add, I need to make up a little bit more of a batch of this. Actually, I say I'm going to, I can't because I can't bend over to get the potting soil. But Stuart is gonna help me make a little bit more of this blend. I'll finish potting this out, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the other 2 pots as kind of an epilogue to this project. So I wanted to show you what these would all kind of look like in combination with an explanatory note. Now, all of these plants here are Mediterranean in nature. They all have the same requirements, so I'm using the same potting blend on all of them. I am really getting into germander now because of its, it kind of looks like boxwood. It can be clipped very tightly. I like it. It has a slight fragrance, and I just love the leaf texture. So I've got this in the baby bear pot. Now I'm going to put some Southern Living Agapanthus in here. This one is Indigo Frost, and I've got another one. I think this is Amethyst. That I'll put either 1 or 2 in here. Now you may ask me, and I wanted to explain this, why didn't I put these really tall Agapanthus in the major pot, in the largest and the tallest pot? Well, here's why I didn't. From a design standpoint, that probably would have made more sense. But from a longevity standpoint, and ultimately what I hope to do with these containers, it didn't meet those requirements. Because these Agapanthus will be in bloom for quite a while, but then they're going to go out of bloom, and then I'm just going to have these in this pot without any color to them. The other thing is I want this rosemary to really get huge, to really look like a shrub that's planted in this pot. And so because of that, because of the size, the girth, and just the large presence that I want to create with this rosemary, I wanted it to be in the largest statement making pot. I could have done the reverse, but that was my thinking in case you were wondering, and these Agapanthus will still look absolutely beautiful in here. So this is my little Mediterranean montage all together in one grouping. I will probably muck up these pots a little bit later, but it's just a little tease on the QVC planters on how these are going to look once I get them in place. I can't lift them right now, but once I get this one potted up and get them all in place in situ in my garden, I'll make sure to show you guys what it looks like. Have a great day.